Hey guys, this is Mike with Vant Trading with a trade of the day for you. So it was CPI today, and just like other events such as the Fed meetings and FOMC meetings, CPI, non-farm payrolls, we have a pretty good system that we use to trade these events, and the system worked out pretty good today. A lot of traders, you see, they tell you, oh, stay away from these news events, stuff like that. But the last three CPI events, we've seen some dramatic volatility, which is good for traders. I mean, the last three moves, we've seen 150-point moves up, 150-point moves down, some really good trading ranges. So don't buy into the hype. There is some good opportunities to trade now. With that said, you got to know what you're doing, or else, even with smaller size, scalps can really add up to some hurting if you don't know what you're doing. But the volatility is something traders are looking for. If you're a trader, you got to be careful shying away from these events, because then what you're left with is the chop days, which is not fun to trade. So let's go into this trade here as far as what we saw and how we traded it. So you can see here the move on CPI. We're looking at the ES, and the first two bars, we always tell our traders, first 5 minutes, stay out of the trade. You don't want to get chopped up. You don't want it. You're not in algo, and it's pretty hard. I mean, it's very easy just to put an order in and have your stop hit within 30 seconds. So that's not a fun thing to have. So also, when you're going into these type of trades, should always be lower size. You should always lower your size. But you can still make some really good money with that lower size limit. So let's go into how these trades set up. First off, you got these two-minute bars here on the ES move, and they worked out really well. I mean, you kind of, and what we do is we draw our fibs from the top of the move to the bottom of the move, and then just trade around it. And so the numbers came in right in line. So they weren't worse than expected. So we weren't expecting additional downsides moving in here. We were looking for the buy up at some point. So that kind of helped with context. And so what we did, our first buy was right off this 23.6%, right off this Fibonacci move. And so, we bought up right in here. And I know I got the fibs kind of reversed, but that's okay. So we buy off this level right in here, and it worked really well, because what we're looking for a lot of times is the we have a news event, especially when it comes in line, not fundamentally changing. Typically, what you're looking for to go back to the scene of the crime, and this one was a really good trade, because that's exactly what it did for about a 35-point move right back to the scene of the crime. And what we love is when you get these little piercing wick, that's what we call liquidity grab, because what you have is you have some retail traders that are looking to buy breakouts. And so, market makers and professional traders, they're looking to, pick the pockets of the retail traders. So by buying this buy up here, it was a great trade, just easy trade. And then we came back down into this 50% level from this fib, and we just kind of held, and you can see these little piercing actions in here. I did take a trade in here that I tried to go short, and I got bailed out by this wick. I'm sorry, I did take a trade in here where I tried to go long. I apologize, and it wasn't looking good here, and I did get bailed out by this wick and got out, but that was a bad trade on my part. What you're looking for is you see this nice little zipper that formed on the ES, and so you can see the basing. That's good action. You kind of got this wedge up in the VWAP. So this looked like definitely we were getting ready to break out. So buy number two was right in this range here, just off the 50, and we got a nice little run. I was looking for the scene of the crime again, but they didn't even play around with it. They blew right by, and we went right up, and what we targeted was the highs, and that was the next stopping ground. So you have the higher low, okay, and then you have the higher high printing, and again, another liquidity grab, because you have retail traders sitting here waiting to play breakouts, which we know don't work. And you had a perfect liquidity grab, and we just sold up right into this bar. And again, what you're talking about is another 30-point move. So you got a 35-point move, another 35-point move right here. That's two really good trades. And then we did miss this, but this was a great setup on a backside move. I got to give Simon credit for calling this out after the fact. Nice setup here. It did fall down. This was a great short. Did not take it. But we did take this bounce off of the 50% level right here for a short little scalp. And then the trade we missed was these wicks up right up in here into the 50% level for the short down. The trade we were looking for was now a piercing of the low. We didn't get it, and so we didn't really trade this. But what we were looking for was a nice little piercing of this low down here like you got here. That would have been the best trade. So I really wasn't able to trade out of this setup here. So I kind of missed that because we were kind of hoping we would get the setup down like we got the setup at the top, but it didn't form, didn't work, or appear. And so now, you know, the SPY ES kind of chopping around. You do have the 200 in here. It's kind of filtering around the 200 on the buys on the daily chart. And the one thing, you know, we used to kind of help us in here, of course, we talked about the three horsemen, VIX, Dixie, and the TNX. Well, we used the TNX, which is 10-year yield, and we did use the dollar to help us trade around and give us, you know, confirmation for some of these trades. So really easy trading. If you've seen us with these setups before, it should have been a little bit easier trading for you as well. But now just let the rest of the market kind of just chop around. We're pretty much done for the day, but really good trades. And hopefully this helped you looking at these trades of the day. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys have, have a good day.